Assalamu alaikum, good evening and a very warm welcome to my brand new show called Spotlight with me, Sidra Iqbal. This show is all about the Pakistani icons and achievers, the ones who dare to dream, the ones who make the good headlines about Pakistan, the ones who inspire us to be the better us. No matter what direction the wind blows, they know how to adjust their sails to reach their destination. And in my show, I would like to go beyond their title, beyond their accomplishments. Let's try and understand what makes them click, what makes them smile, what makes them so passionate and committed to their dreams. And tonight you're in for a very interesting and candid conversation with one of the most celebrated CEOs of the Pakistani corporate world. He has been lauded for his astute business acumen. He has been honored internationally and nationally at a number of power-packed forums. As a CEO in 7 years, he has to his credit turning an organization around from 13 billion rupees in revenue to 117 billion rupees in revenue. But then he surprised everyone by taking an early retirement from his illustrious position as a CEO and starting afresh a life in public service in mainstream politics with TEHRIK INSAAF. He is the tall man with contagious optimism, a promise for positive change and a number of surprises up his rolled sleeves. Let's welcome the awe-inspiring ASAD UMAR. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for joining us. Please take a seat.
My pleasure, ji.
Mr. Saab, it's such a pleasure to have you here. This is the first show and we wanted to actually start with an achiever like yourself. So, 27 years in corporate engro and now out in the public life. What's the difference like?
Well, the difference is not as dramatic as most people expect it to be. It's still a creative process. You're trying to create something new. You're trying to bring change. You're trying to create improvement in the lives of people, improve the economy of Pakistan. Just the canvas is much broader.
Where it has been the company's loss, Pakistan's gain on the other hand. Do you agree with that statement?
I would like to believe that for sure.
A lot of people have seen this move to be very, very controversial and I'd like to tell my viewers about this as well. In fact, I had an exclusive interview a week before you announced the big move. And in the interview you said nothing about it. In fact, you said, I have no political ambitions whatsoever.
I still have no political ambitions at all.
But this is mainstream.
I still stand by that. I still have no political ambitions at all. Being engaged in the political process, trying to contribute whatever skill set you have, experiences that you've gained, knowledge that you have, and having political ambitions are two totally different things. And very often the two are not found in the same person. So there is a set of people who want to contribute and there are these set of people who got political ambitions. And only in very few cases is there an overlap between the two.
Well, let's take you back in time, starting out from your school life, and people who are very close to you have always said that you've always had that leadership spark in you. So did you know back then that you will be entering the big bad world of politics?
No, not at all. As I said, even if you asked me a year back, I would say no. My passion is, as I said, is to create something new. It is to make a difference. It's to bring change. And whatever avenue allows for the greatest expression of that is where you'll find me. And for 27 amazing years, it was Engro. And for the first time in Pakistan's at least history, as I have experienced it in my lifetime, there is a political platform which I believe allows me to express that. And that's the reason I'm here.
But do you feel when it comes to the corporate world, a lot of people get attuned to a certain way of life? It's a lifestyle choice. I mean, the cars, the offices, the suits, the jackets. Do you miss any of that?
I don't, because I never adopted that lifestyle. Okay.
You've always been the rolled
I have
up
always,
guy.
yeah. This one has a very specific history behind it.
And what
okay, the rolled up. I grew up, I was the youngest of 7, 5 brothers and a sister, and I was the 7th and the youngest. And my parents were not particularly well off. My father had retired at that point in time. So when I was a teenager, I essentially wore the clothes that my brothers wore. So it was their shirts that I was wearing. And most of them are about 6 feet tall. So there was this brief moment when I was as tall as they were. and within months I was taller than them. So the sleeves would only come up to here, but the rest of the shirt would fit. So in order to hide the fact that the sleeves were short, I started rolling up my sleeves. Now it's become such a habit, it's a lifetime habit. I literally feel suffocated if I have to button my shirt.
But do you feel that you've always had the advantage in all the arenas because of your height?
I always say everything, including my IBA grades, have been blamed on my height. I think that that height, I think, has very little to do with it. But who knows?
But I've always wanted to know, what about traveling in the airlines? I mean, I'm sure the economy seats
I
wouldn't do
just traveled
justice.
economy class today, coming back from Islamabad.
Always a pain?
And it is not a lot of fun, I can tell you, with my height. So in general, as far as normal everyday life is concerned, being taller than the average is just a pain.
It's a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
Going back again to your student life, you've already shared one instance where what things were like growing up. When it comes to your student life, were you always the outstanding, amazing student, or were you an above average student?
I had no interest in grades. I had interest in learning. So most of the time, a very interesting anecdote of that is I did my BCom from Government Commerce College. Government Commerce dominated commerce education in Pakistan. It was by far and away the best commerce college in Pakistan. So every year the university, the person who would top, in fact the top 2 or 3 would normally be from our college. So the college faculty was also very interested in that, and they would nurture the students who they thought they had potential. And I still remember my teacher in BCom in part 2 asking who he thought were prospective position holders. So he goes, the first one he says, I had 72%, second one had 70%, and so on and so forth. Then he comes to me and I said, I had a high second division. He looks at me and he says, Beta, ye to aapne bahut zyadati ki. So I had these metric first division, high second division, inter, high second division, BCom, and then I went into IBA. And suddenly the way you are tested and the way you are examined changes. Now suddenly you are being tested for knowledge, not how much you have memorized and how long an answer you wrote. And suddenly I had straight A's in the first